Live from New York, it's the show that is wishing Brew an early happy birthday.
It's your birthday?
I didn't know you guys were tomorrow.
The big 6-0?
Oh, stop. I'm nowhere near that.
More or less faith in the Bills after last night?
A little less.
Less?
Little
Oh, I thought you
less.
were going to say a little more.
No, little less. Josh was excellent, by the way. Not surprising. He has those games. You know, you don't know which type of game you're going to get, but him being excellent should never be a surprise, just like the type of game he had a few weeks ago shouldn't be a surprise at this point. But I am coming around to one of Brew's opinions, at least an adjacent property of Brew's opinion. This is a poorly coached team. And it was insane that Tampa Bay had a pass to win the game. Now, again, it's not like the Giants who had a pass to win the game from the 1 yard line. It was a Hail Mary. I understand that. But the fact that they could not salt this game away, put Tampa away, and then when I say poorly coached, I mean you have a 3rd and goal from inside the 1, you come away with 0 points early in the game. Late in the game, you allow Tampa that can't run the ball, it has a banged-up offensive line, a middling, and I know we will argue about it, quarterback. I believe middling. Brew believes somewhere 7 degrees below middling. South of middling.
He's like the big Baker.
I am. Yeah, I think they have a league average quarterback.
That was a W for me.
And they allow a 17-play, 92-yard drive. That includes the Bucs converting a 1st and 20, a 4th and 10, a 4th and 8, and a 4th and 10 for a touchdown. Any of those would have ended the game. And then you get the ball, and you need 2 first downs, and you can't get that. I don't know, Brew, how you can watch this if you're a Bills fan. And believe it or not, I do have some Bills fans in my life that I'm close to that I text with. They weren't thrilled with that outcome. My buddy Brent Hanks from Poker Go is one of the biggest Bills fans in the world.
I believe it. I'm sorry.
He was happy they escaped with a win, but you do feel like there's something amiss with this team, and it's to me a month of mediocre football they've played. That to me doesn't feel like a Super Bowl team.
Well, my take quickly on the coaching, since you brought it up. Sean McDermott has obviously done a good job with this team, right? They weren't very good at all, but he made them a perennial playoff contender. Great. Some coaches, that's what they do.
Yep.
They can't get you over the hump. I think it's becoming clear. Like, if this season ends, as we all think it will, with the playoff loss, then I think that's why I was so upset that they gave him the extension. It's not like he's not a good coach, and he'll probably get a job somewhere else eventually, if not right away. But they need a new face to get them over the hump. So I'm with you there. Now, I'm going to say this. This might sound like I'm contradicting myself. I'm not saying they're going to win the AFC. You know I don't believe that. I'm going to give them a little more faith. Okay. A little more faith. And it's solely based on Josh Allen. All right? We saw, and I get it, Nick, you're right. Seeing him have a great game, that's not unusual, right? Yep. Especially after a poor game or two. But he talked all week about I got to think less. I really understand that. Like, I think he felt like he was out there like, don't make a mistake. Oh, slide. Don't run here. Try to stay in the pocket. Like, it's all that's going through his head instead of just reacting.
And I thought last night they went to some more no huddle early. They did what Coach Mangini
credit
suggested.
the coach, right, because they did do the hurry up early. But he was out there just being himself. Yep. All right, I like that he ran more. He ran as much as he has all season, 7 times, 41 yards, which was close to a season high. Obviously had the touchdown run. He spread the wealth. He wasn't just looking for digs.
That's what looks the best.
Gabe Davis, 9 catches, career high.
Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid gets his first touchdown reception.
White.
Yeah. I mean, to go to him, he had like 8 catches coming into this game, and he had 6 last night.
Yep.
Shazier. So I like that, and I think the Bills, even you heard McDermott after the game saying, look, I've told Josh to slide. He knows it. I'm not going to say it anymore. He knows how to slide, right? He's got to do it. I think they're saying, we understand. We just got to let Josh be Josh. And there's going to be some bad. There's going to be some bad plays. But we just hope the great outweighs the poor.
All right, there's 2 things I'm worried about. First, this defense is not the defense we saw earlier in the year. If I was a Bills fan, which I'm not, but if I was a Bills fan, this is what I would be worried about. Got injured. We know Matt Milano's not there, and the record when Matt Milano is not there is nowhere near as good as It is when Matt Milano's making impact plays. The other thing I'm worried about, and I know he hasn't missed a snap, but my quarterback can only go into the blue tent so many times until I start to get worried. After the Giants game, he got x-rays. It's all good. The Patriots game, he was asked about it because they lost. No, we're good to go. And then his shoulder got hurt. He's back in the blue tent. There's another Allen warming up.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a snap. But I think it's something to worry. It's something to keep an eye on.
Well, especially
because running around, I think is on the verge of foolish.
Last year, he didn't miss games.
He's tough,
and yet Bills fans, were telling me all summer I was too hard on him because he was clearly hurt at the end of the year, is what they were saying with the elbow, and that's why the play fell off. So there is a level of, and I think Brew's right. He's not going to change. Not at Not at this age, and not when he still is this physically imposing. And I think it is a weird thing because to win any individual game, you don't want him to change his running style.
Right.
But to make it through a season, to have him have the length of the career that all of us hope he has, whether you're a Bills fan or not, there is a reason the Cam Newton comparisons can be complimentary because that guy was a league MVP. No, of course, but I'm saying that the Cam comparisons can be a good thing because once upon a time Cam was a great player, but they also can be a cautionary tale because Cam's career ended far earlier than we would have liked.
But I think they've realized, look, the cautious, hesitant pedestrian Josh, we're not going to be a great team that way.
Correct.
Yeah. And so let's just let him be himself.
It feels like they're playing with fire, though.
They are, but that's their only choice.
And I don't know, Hubs, if we can show their schedule. This was an important win, but they've got 2 games left against teams that you would say are gimme games. The Broncos game and the Patriots game, and the Patriots beat them.
Yeah.
I understand, but I don't think the Patriots are going to sweep them. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they're going to.
We did beat them. So.
I understand you did beat them, and that was good. But
the Jets game.
No, that's the
why isn't the Jets game a gimme game? Jets beat them.
What?
Jets should.
Yeah, but the Jets are better than the Patriots. I'm sorry. Listen,
but they played head-to-head and who won?
I'm not trying to argue about the Patriots.
Well, I'm just saying.
The styles make fights, like you say. The Patriots beat the Jets. The point I'm trying to make is they don't have a lot of soft parts of their schedule where it's like, okay, we can pile up a bunch of wins. So that was an important win. Yeah. But I thought they should have been taking knees. Or de facto knees, essentially, for the final 7 minutes of that game. Mm-hmm. And instead, as we're talked about, it came down to the weirdest Hail Mary ever.
Now they've got this long, extra rest. Got Cincinnati next week after 49ers, so they shouldn't win that game. Meanwhile, Bake Show. All right, so we've got one Baker believer on the show, one Baker non-believer, and in the meeting, the Baker believer said he could convince the non-believer to come around.
So here's the thing, Brew.
He can't.
Brew, I'm
open. I'm just going to say I'm open.
And I'm not. Kenneth came out before the show and asked me if I wanted these, and I said no. You know why? These are patronizing. You know what I've started to realize?
You don't think I knew that?
I don't think the olive branches are always offered sincerely. So I want to put them away. I am just going to appeal to not only your integrity, but what you respect in athletes and people. Baker Mayfield plays through injury. In fact, one could argue that his decision to play through injury in Cleveland cost him millions of dollars and set his career on this wayward path, and the only person applauding him and encouraging him to do it was you. Baker Mayfield is a universally regarded great teammate. Baker Mayfield, I understand Odell's dad didn't like him, but Baker Mayfield with the Rams, even with the Panthers where he was bad, and certainly here in Tampa, people have sung his praises as a teammate. And Baker Mayfield has, what does Bruce say all the time? When it comes to quarterbacks, yes, measurables are important, but I like intangibles. I like the ability to rally teammates and guys who fight. And there was a moment last night when Baker Mayfield had every reason to give up the fight. They are down 14 points here. He is wrapped up 6 times and just keeps fighting when he has no chance. And guess what ends up happening? He, because of the fight, draws a flag, and all of a sudden, 20 real-time minutes later, they have a pass to win the game because he didn't give up. You should like him. I'm not asking you to put him in the Hall of Fame or the Pro Bowl. He is, if he were from Ohio, he could be your cousin. He is your type of guy. So just say you like Baker.
That's pretty good.
You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. And it's not a knock on your guy, Kyle Trask. You like Baker. You want to like Baker.
Here's the thing. I don't dislike Baker.
Okay, we're halfway there.
The progressive commercials were a smash as far as I was concerned. I thought they were good. I mean, I really like Baker. This is what it boils down to, Nick. And it's similar to the whole Jimmy G thing, right? I was never Jimmy G's a Hall of Famer. Well, Jimmy G's my guy.
I mean,
but
I'm
fair. Well, I'm fair. I'm accurate. I'm on point. And so Nick went overboard in crushing Jimmy G. There's 100 guys walking around that could do what he's doing. He's in Kyle Shanahan's arm.
I said crazy stuff.
You went so far to say Jimmy G is garbage. Maybe that far. Yeah. And so I'm just coming in saying, no, this guy's won 70% of his games, as the graphic says. Yeah. This guy took him to the Super Bowl. This guy took him to the NFC title game. So my point was, I came off looking like, wow, he really reps and capes for Jimmy G. But I was actually being fair. Same thing with Baker.
Okay.
You go overboard. Like Baker's all that. Even in this little segment, what the best Hail Mary ever thrown.
No, I didn't say
even
that.
In the little highlight, he got hit by 6 guys. It was like 2. I'm just saying, the little exaggerations, again, I live in fairness. I dwell in fairness. Yeah. And so I'm just sitting there saying, well, no, Baker really isn't that good.
But is he?
He's south of middling.
Okay, but so let me ask you this, and I'm not just so we can have kind of a reference point.
I'll give you this quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I love that he played through the injuries, and you guys were against that when he was in Cleveland. And I got to say this, because situations do matter. If he had stayed in Cleveland, they hadn't gone after Deshaun Watson, they would obviously be better.
Yes.
And his career would look a lot different to us, because that's a good team, and he'd be
100%.
Quarterback. So I will give you that.
Can I just ask this? I think we have in our mind's eye that there are more, no doubt, good quarterbacks than they are. Because I tried to list it out today. And even at the most skeptical, if I put him behind Derek Carr and Kenny Pickett, he comes in 17th amongst quarterbacks. If we may, I'm not using my pyramid as gospel, but just so we know who all the quarterbacks are. On the rows above him, there are 15 guys. One of them's a college kid. So there's 14 people above him. Put Purdy, Carr, and Pickett ahead of him.
I would put Russ.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's 17 or 18, there's 32 teams in the league. That is the definition of an average quarterback. He is an average starter. And he is a guy who will be a starter in this league for years to come.
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
But
I mean, maybe, but he wasn't a starter last year toward the end of the season.
Yes. But this level of play, like last night he played fine.
He's been solid this year. He has definitely been solid.
That's all I want.
But I'm just saying, look, if they keep losing, here's the deal, and you will admit this, Nick, if Baker Mayfield's your quarterback, you're looking for the next guy. And if they keep losing, then they're going to say, we drafted him in the second round.
My God,
let's see if Kyle Trask is they're going to throw him in there. It wasn't week 8.
If they're eliminated, I agree. But I think because of the division they're in,
you think they'll definitely wait that long?
Also, for the record, I didn't say it was the best Hail Mary. I called it the weirdest Hail Mary. Have you ever seen a Hail Mary, Brew?
Dusty, get this.
That nobody touches? It was an unusual,
and
he threw it almost as far as he used to throw the ball in high school, Brew. That was 65 yards on the fly.
That's why it's the best. Best Hail Mary of all time. Take that, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Okay. I have mixed emotions about that quote. How about you?
Because I kind of wish he cared because, look, guys are different temperaments. Some guys cannot look at the criticism and perform up to their ability. So maybe he knows, like, I don't even need to see this stuff, have it in my head. Other guys would be motivated by it. Because all we're saying, anyone that criticizes AD, all they're saying is, dude, you can be even better than you already are, and you're a Hall of Fame player. And so the criticism is coming out of belief in his ability. But look, Charles Barkley said it last night. Eddie House, we spoke with him on Odd Couple last night radio show. They said, look,
710 Fox Sports Radio.
Well, you are what you are at a certain point.
Yes.
And it's that's what I said the other day after his first game. Like, we got to accept AD's going to bring it some nights, and it's going to look incredible. Other nights he's not. But I know we want to talk about, should Lakers fans be encouraged or discouraged after last night? Discouraged. I mean, it should not have taken a Herculean effort. Credit to LeBron for a fantastic game in the fourth quarter, especially. He scored 10 points. And even AD had 13 in the fourth quarter. It shouldn't take all that to beat the Phoenix Suns without Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. All right, so and in game 2, LeBron has to break his 30-minute restriction. Yeah. And LeBron has a quote. He said, look, tonight called for it. And I credit him for going through it. But you know what? At this pace, about 75 of their games are going to call for it.
Barkley said that after. He's right. If you need it against the Suns without Booker and Beal, who do you not need?
But what do you want them to do?
They're fortunate that Durant ran out of gas. Because Durant was doing it all by himself.
Too many minutes.
Some of the role players stepped up. No, he had to do everything by himself.
Well, it's Devin Booker's toe.
I'm just saying, they got fortunate.
No, that's my question. Do you think that this was, you had a plan for one day? LeBron seemed to be all in on the plan in the post. You don't think so?
No, he said that's the plan, I guess. LeBron,
I thought he said that's the plan.
I think they'll try to institute this.
Yeah,
but when they can't, he'll play as normal.
The Lakers have played 96 minutes this year. In the 32 minutes LeBron has been on the bench, they've been outscored by 36 points. In the 64 minutes he has played, they have outscored the opponent by 29 points. Right now, they can't sustain without him, which just makes them like almost every team he's ever played on, except for the Heatles. You know what I mean? At their apex.
We did this last year.
Of course, we did it last year.
The same stats.
No, I understand. I'm just giving you the facts.
It's just frustrating.
If I may, just quickly on the Anthony Davis thing, I wonder, and I don't know AD at all. I've never spoken with him, so it is just pure speculation. I wonder if remember when Barkley was calling him street clothes, and then he played a playoff game with a ripped up groin, was hobbling around for 6 minutes, and then they went to the bench. I wonder if that was the moment he's like, I got to just tune out to all this. The commentary literally got me to play a game that hurt my team's chances and hurt myself in an elimination game because I was sick of being called street clothes. And that would, to me, make sense if from that moment forward he's like, you know what, not following any of it. As far as what the Lakers are going to do, they're going to rely on their best player. And LeBron, and I know at some point people people think that this can be trite or overplayed. Kevin O'Connor, you say, don't take LeBron James for granted. I was watching last night, and he's the oldest guy in the league. He's 500 minutes short of Kareem's record for most minutes ever. And who had the most juice in the tank in the final 4 minutes of that game? LeBron James. LeBron James at damn near 39 years old. It's not just that he got the winning buckets. They're hard buckets. I'm going to drive past my guy. I'm going to go to the basket. Yeah. And so there is a level of, it is, if you have a guy, Brew, on your team who can, no coach has the self-control to have the 100-game view.
But the thing is, he's not. See, here, I think when he plays, he needs to play point. He can coast and pace himself as the point guard, getting the team in the offense. Because what's clear, when LeBron is not on the ball and he's floating out by the three-point line, he's not involved. And he's just and no one on that team, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, I need to see a little more from him. They don't know how to get him involved. All right, so that's why when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's not doing much. If you look at how many of his buckets have been like just what we watch, whether it's in the half court, him just taking it, going to the basket, or getting a rebound and going full court, most of them have been that way because nobody can set LeBron up. So he's the only guy on that team that can set teammates up and get them easy buckets. That's what he needs to do for the 30 minutes he's out there. And if they do it well enough, maybe he won't have to go more than 30 minutes.
I mean, I understand that he needs to play, and that's why I said, and I'm not joking, that the Nuggets game was a must-win because they had a plan. And I think LeBron's looking at it like, I know we had a plan and I agreed to it, but it's game 2. I have to throw the plan in the garbage because we have to win this game. I'm not going to start this year like I started last year. And to your point, it works until it doesn't.
It works until he gets hurt.
And then it's going to be like, oh.
Well, but you do have to try to. I don't think you can just throw it to the wind right now.
I agree.
You got to try.
You got to try. And I think they were smart.
And then when he
last
misses
night,
2 weeks, what's going to happen?
Well, it's tough.
And they go one.
And by the way, they already made the adjustment. D'Lo was not in that closing group. Right. LeBron was playing point in that closing group in the final 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.